guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial on this eye look right here. I used a couple different shades of jade green, olive, moss, whatever you guys want to call it, all on my lid to create a very pretty gradient. And then obviously I smoked out some browns in the outer corner, and I kept the shape of this eyeshadow look more lifted and cat eye-like instead of rounded because I really wanted to lift my eyes and add a lot of drama. As always, please feel free to swap out the products that I used in this tutorial for something that you have that is similar in your collection. I don't want you guys ever to feel pressured to have to use the exact same products that I have, because if you have something that is a similar shade and does a similar job, then you should be able to create a look very similar to this using those products. So I think that that is all I have to say. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to see how I created this eyeshadow look, then just keep watching. So I'm going to start off today's look by priming my skin, and I have been trying out the Smashbox primer water, and I don't have an official review about how I feel about this yet. But so far so good. I don't have any complaints. I just don't know if it really does prolong the wear of my makeup, so I'm still testing that out. But what I do is I just take a couple of sprays of it and then I fan it to dry with my hand, and then I move on to my foundation. For foundation today, I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and this is in the shade Natural Beige. I finally found a shade that matches my skin tone almost 100%, and this is my absolute favorite foundation that I have ever tried. I just think that the formula is absolutely incredible. It has a medium to full coverage without looking cakey and heavy on the skin. It also has an incredible wear time and staying power. So my favorite way to apply it is with a beauty blender. So I'm just going to take a pump and a half of it on the back of my hand, apply a couple of dots on my cheeks and on my chin area with my finger, and then I'm going to go ahead and start blending that and pushing that into the skin. A trick to getting your foundation to stay on your skin for as long as possible is to really sit there and continuously blend it out until it is kind of dried and kind of set onto the skin. Don't stop blending it out when it's still tacky and wet feeling. Just keep on taking your time and really pushing it into the skin until you start to like notice that it is setting and kind of drying on the skin. Now, I have some really intense hereditary dark circles, so I'm going to go ahead and cover those up with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC30. This does an amazing job of covering all that blue and purple tones underneath the eye area while also brightening it, and it doesn't settle into any fine lines, it doesn't crease, and it lasts a very long time. And now with patting and pushing motions, I'm just going to be pushing this concealer in underneath my eyes, making sure to kind of take it down on the sides of my nose. And I'm blending it in back and forth motions. I'm not just going in outward or inward directions because I want to make sure that the foundation is sitting where I want it to sit and it's not settling into the fine lines that it feels like settling into. Same thing with my foundation. I like to make sure that I'm blending out the concealer, not just until it is all blended out, but until I know that it's dry. Because if you stop blending it out when it's still wet, it can tend to settle into the fine lines. Even though you've done a good job at blending it out, if it's still wet, it can still move. Now I'm going to go ahead and set underneath my eye area with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder on my same damp beauty blender. I'm not going to be baking, I'm just going to be taking a decent amount of this powder and I'm really going to be pushing it in underneath my eye area. I'm also making sure just to set my chin and in my smile lines, because I get really bad smile lines. My foundation always settles in this area, so I try to set it as much as possible to prevent that from happening for at least a couple of hours, because it is inevitable, but if I can prevent it for at least a little bit, then I'd like to do that. Alright, so now that we have a nice base laid down, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the eyes, so I'm just going to zoom you guys in. Okay, so to start off with the eyes, I'm going to be taking my Z palette here, and I'm going to be taking Creme Brûlée by Makeup Geek on a Sigma E40 brush, and I'm going to start blending this shade into my crease, and I'm going to kind of take it out a little bit to elongate my eye and make it a little bit more cat-shaped. So I'm taking it into the crease, but instead of keeping it rounded, I'm kind of taking my brush outward instead. But I'm making sure to blend it from the outer corner all the way down to the inner corner. Now that we have that built into the crease, I'm going to go to a slightly darker shade, Makeup Geek Frappé. I'm taking that on a Sigma E25 blending brush, and I'm going to be taking that slightly lower into the crease from outer corner till about midway. And I'm also making sure to kind of flick it out at the end to keep that cat shape. So I'm also going to take that color a little bit right in the outer V of the eye, just connecting the shape down. So I did put it right here into the crease, but now I'm kind of connecting it back down on the lid. Now I'm going back in with my original blending brush just to make sure that we are blending those shades together. I didn't take any additional product, I'm just taking the brush and going over the work that we just did. Now I'm taking the darkest matte brown shade that I have in my Z palette, which is Fully by MAC, and you can use any brown shades for this crease work right here. I'm just using what I have on hand. I'm taking that on the same E25 brush by Sigma. I'm taking it slightly lower down and on the outer V of my eye. I'm still blending it into the crease, but I'm kind of placing the color on this whole outer section of the lid and deepening this area. Okay, so now for the fun part, I'm going to be going in with the Jade green. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Morphe shadow right here. This is in number 19, and I'm going to take that on a MAC 239 brush. So I'm just taking this color and I'm packing it all over the lid from the inner corner, and I'm packing it onto where we put that darkness into the outer corner. Okay, so now that we have laid down the color, I'm going to take my E25 brush again and a little bit more of MAC Fully eyeshadow, and I'm just gonna go back into this outer corner right here and blend in some more brown and kind of blend that into the crease as well to make sure that there's no choppiness from where we laid down the color. Okay, so I am actually going to use some of the shade Anaconda from the Anastasia Artist palette just on the outer section of the lid where we put down the green. It has a darker and more reflective hue to it than the Morphe one. So I'm just gonna kind of pack that right here. And I'm just gonna do a little bit more blending in the crease. Now for this little inner corner section of the eye, I'm going to be taking Makeup Geek's Shimmermint. This is just a lighter green, and I just want to add this so that there's a nice ombre gradient effect going on the lid. I'm taking that on the other side of my MAC brush, and I'm just going to be packing this basically right in this little inner corner. Instead of doing another color as a highlight, I'm going to be using just a lighter green. So I'm actually going to take this color and kind of bring this into this like inner corner section of the crease as well. And now I'm going to take this dome-shaped brush from Sony A5100, and I'm going to be taking MAC's Fully eyeshadow, and I'm just going to bring this along my lower lash line. So I'm making sure to connect this up to this like winged out section of shadow that we have over here. And I'm also only bringing it in halfway on the eye. I'm not taking it all the way to the inner corner. I want to keep the darkness on the outer part of the eye. And now on a smudger brush from Zoeva, I'm going to take Anaconda again by Anastasia, and I'm taking that right in the center of my lower lash line. I'm basically going to be mimicking what I have going on the lid. And then for this little inner section over here, I'm going to be going back into that Morphe number 19 shadow on the same smudger brush, and I'm just going to be putting that right in the beginning of the lower lash line. And then I'm going to take a drop of Makeup Geek's Vanilla Bean, which is basically just a bone colored shadow, and I'm going to be placing that on the brow as a brow bone highlight. For eyeliner today, I'm going to be using this black one from Absolute New York, and I'm going to be lining all around my eye. I'm tight lining and I'm putting it in my lower waterline as well. And for mascara today, I'm using the Marc Jacobs Omega Lash Mascara in Blacker. Okay, so now I'm going in with blush, and the one that I have been using a lot lately is the MAC Extra Dimension blush in At Dusk. I really like it. I feel like it is a perfect blush shade to go with any eye look. And the formula is a lot like the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion bronzers, where they're not super powdery. They have more of a creamy texture, but they are not a cream. And I'm just applying this with a Sonia Kashuk blush brush. This is the number 2, and it is my favorite blush brush of all time. I just feel like it distributes the perfect amount of product and it blends it out very effortlessly. For bronzer today, I'm going to be using this one by Becca. It is in this shade Duende, I believe, and I'm using that on a It Cosmetics number 8 brush. And I'm just going to be placing this in the hollows of my cheeks because this is more of a cool tone bronzer, so it works for contouring. And I'm going to be bringing it up on my temples as well. For highlighter today, I'm going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Gleam kit, and I'm going to be mixing the shades Hard Candy and Starburst. And I'm just going to be hitting it on the tops of my cheeks. And I'm kind of bringing it down over my blush. And just simply because I can't go a day without putting this on my face, I'm using my Bobbi Brown highlighter in Pink Glow, just on the highest points of my cheekbones. So just right here, I'm gonna add a little bit of this. Before we move on to the lips, I'm just going to spray a little bit of MAC Fix Plus just to get all those powders to kind of melt into each other. For lips today, I'm going to be using Colourpop's Cookie Lippie Stick, and I'm going to be topping that with Anastasia Undressed Lip Gloss. So this is the finished look. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you did, then please don't forget to give it a nice big thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. And if you guys do decide to recreate this look, then don't forget to tag me on all of my social media. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!